Everybody, Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you here on this Monday afternoon, 6:30. We're talking all about your heat, the humidity, the impending heat wave. Yeah, we're getting ready for that. Like it or not, here it comes. This is going to be a long stretch of heat for us as we go through the rest of the week. We're expecting Friday through Sunday to all kind of be pretty difficult to take. Temperatures near 100, could be feeling hotter than that, and you're going to want to adjust your outdoor activities. So this is going to be a big deal for 4th of July festivities. Fire danger will be something that we have to consider. And it's just going to be a big heat wave. We've dealt with them before. This is the latest one, and you'll have to consider how you're going to adapt to those changes. So thanks for being with us here. We'll give you a little weather rundown, and let's get right to it. Right now, we're talking all about this, the extreme heat, of course, as we go forward in time here. That's going to be something we're going to have to deal with. But let's talk about today, because today, not a bad one. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s around the area. And honestly, it can be worse. In fact, the average high this time of year is in the upper 80s to near 90s. So we were a little on the cooler side relative to average. That partly has to do with the fact that we had some clouds earlier this morning, and those clouds kind of kept our temperature down ever so slightly. The feels like the heat index looks like this for today. Right now, it's hovering right there in the low 90s to around 90 degrees. So the heat is a factor. It's a hot day, but this is really nothing out of the ordinary. It's kind of a regular hot Monday, and it's a pretty nice Monday for that matter as well. We still have some scattered clouds to track for you around the area, no matter where you might be. It's not a bad one. That's a nice view. That's not Randleman, though. Let me adjust my camera and make sure that's correct for you in a second. But in any case, it's hot, it's humid, and it's going to be getting a lot more so over the next several days. Overnight tonight, we're going to stay pretty muggy. So overnight lows do not cool down that much, and that's going to be a theme as we go throughout the week. Temperatures not really getting down to the minimum. They're basically going to be hovering in the low and mid 70s all night long. So it's not like we're going to be cooling all that much. Instead, we're basically going to stay warm and muggy 24/7 as we go throughout the week. Looking ahead toward tomorrow, similar to today, but a little hotter. I have us getting into the low 90s for your Monday afternoon. So there is some heat, there is some humidity. It's going to be a hot day of weather, but it's still kind of regular. It's still kind of a normal June day by our standards. It's Wednesday that we start to crank it up a little bit. That's when the mid to upper 90s start to come back into play, and we'll have that temperature that's really going to be on the hot side for the rest of the week. So once you get to Wednesday, it's kind of off to the races, and there is reason for that. We're going to be looking at high pressure, which is very, very strong around our area. It's just going to be in control, and not just here, but basically up and down the eastern United States. So we're basically all in the same pattern with this heat and humidity dominating. And you might hear people refer to this as a heat dome, kind of a buzzword basically, but there's truth to it. It's a big area of high pressure that pushes and presses on planet Earth. And when we're compressing the air, we're warming the air. So it is a warming process. That's the case with this setup as well as we go throughout the rest of the week. And it'll stay that way through the upcoming weekend. And that's why I think we want to be taking it seriously. The worst days of this heat wave are going to start to build in by the end of the week. So Wednesday, not so much. Thursday, that's when it gets a lot hotter. And then by the weekend, there's where we start to get a little busy. Friday, Saturday, into Sunday, that's going to be that time when we're really going to have to start limiting our outdoor time and our outdoor activity, because the temperatures, they're going to be squeezed into that right around 100 degree range is what I mean to say. Here's kind of what we have for Greensboro right now. Our temperature forecast is on the left. The record highs are on the right. And notice how close they are. Wednesday, that's going to fall short, I would expect. But by Thursday through Saturday, we'll have a chance to do a record high basically each afternoon, if not close to it. The records are at 99 and 98 during this heat wave, which is a little cooler than they have been on other parts of the calendar. The record high today is 102, for example. So we have a pretty good chance at beating that, or at least getting toward that number by the end of the week. There's a product we can show you. It's from the National Weather Service. It's actually new this year. And what we call it is called heat risk. There are 4 levels. What a heat risk is meant to communicate is it regular, typical heat, or is it something that's unusual for your area and it's specific to each location? So on Wednesday, for example, the heat risk is either a 2 or a 3 around our area. By Thursday, that's when the heat risk is more or less a 3 for pretty much everybody. Once we get to Friday, that's when it's a 3 or a 4. 4 is the top of the scale. And then by Saturday, most of us are at a 4. And then by Sunday, similar situation. So all of us are toward the top of that scale, which means if you don't adjust your activity, if you don't drink extra water, you don't limit your time outside, well, you could just be in trouble. So you got to be thinking about that. Don't go about your day as you normally would. Have weather be a part of your planning. Make sure that you're thinking about that, especially if you're hosting a cookout or going to a 4th festival, anything like that. You've got to be considering the impact that the heat is going to be taking on your body. It's been a while for us. We haven't hit 100 degrees since July of 2012. It's a long time. We haven't hit 99 since 2 years ago. July of 2024, we did that. Now, as far as hitting 100, it's hard to do. At Greensboro, anyway, the last time we did it, like I said, 14 years ago. On average, we do it about once every 3 years. So it's not a yearly occurrence, about once every 3 years or so. The most we've ever had in a year, 1977. Those PTI records going back to 1928. We did it 4 times back then. So that's kind of where we're headed. That's kind of what we're talking about. I'll leave you with the 7-day forecast here as we get going. We're looking at temperatures right there in the mid to upper 90s each and every day by Wednesday through Sunday. Make sure that you are ready to go with all the heat and humidity coming our way. That's your forecast. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes with more on the heat wave and other weather across the Carolinas and across the country.